Hi, I'm Amy Riolo with Harris Teeter. Today we're making a flourless chocolate cake. This decadent, gluten-free version hails from Italy's Amalfi Coast, where it's known as torta caprese. So let's begin. So I have a pound of chopped chocolate, or in this case just semi-sweet chocolate chips. Use a really good quality that you like, and because this is a gluten-free version, look for specifically gluten-free chocolate chips. I'm going to add a cup or 2 sticks of butter. Then we have a 1/4 cup of cold espresso. If you don't have espresso, you could use really strong coffee. And then we have a teaspoon of vanilla. We want to cook these over low. Chocolate can be a little bit temperamental and it can burn very easily. So as soon as you see that they're starting to melt, you want to go ahead and stir to incorporate everything. So now that everything's melted together, we can go ahead and remove this from the stove. We'll just let it cool for a second, and that gives us time to get our eggs and sugar working. The first thing I'll do is add in 7 eggs to the mixer. You want to make sure to have your whisk attachment. And now a cup of sugar. So I'm going to turn it on low and mix this together. Now that our eggs and sugar are combined, I'm going to go ahead and increase the speed to high, and we'll let this go for about 6 minutes until it gets nice and bubbly. So now our egg and sugar mixture is nice and thick, so we can go ahead and turn it off for a second. Now what we have to do is combine the chocolate into the eggs, and I'm going to keep the mixer running on very low for this. You just want to make sure and do this pretty slowly. That way the chocolate doesn't deflate the eggs too much. Now I'm going to increase my speed to medium. And I'm just going to give the bowl a quick swipe with my spatula to make sure that any of the eggs that have remained on the side are getting incorporated. And then I'm going to prepare my baking pans. I'm going to use a little bit of vegetable spray. I'm going to make one in a 9-inch cake pan, and then I'm going to do some of these little molds so that I have some individual cakes as well. To get our pan ready, I'm going to spray it with a little bit of the cooking spray. Then I'll top it with some parchment paper. Then add a little bit more of the cooking spray. And the same thing with the little pans. So now we can pour our batter in, and I'm going to go about 3/4 of the way up. Now we'll stick these into our oven, which has been preheated at 350 degrees. The smaller ones are going to take about 15 minutes, and the larger cake will be about 50 to 55 minutes. So our cakes have finished baking, and I've let them cool for about an hour. You can tell when they're finished baking because they get really crackly on the top. So all we have to do now is to turn it out onto a dish. And I went ahead and loosened the edges of the cake a little bit just to help me along. To invert it onto the dish, all we have to do is take a plate and put it upside down on top of our cake, and then turn it right over this way. And remove our parchment paper. And then we can coat with a little bit of powdered sugar. So there we have our flourless chocolate cake, a perfect decadent treat for any special occasion. Enjoy.